Today is finally the day I am planting up my front porch containers. Now, I garden in Nova Scotia. I'm in Zone 6A. Nights are still a little cool. So the beauty of planting in containers is I can pop them inside into my garage if the nights still get under 9-10 degrees Celsius, which they will for the next few days. But I'm done leaving them in their little nursery pots, you guys. I want to plant them up, so I'm going to do that today. I'm wearing a hat because I'm about to put my bug net on. I don't know if you can see them flying around. It's that time for like 2-3 weeks in the spring. If you know, you know. The black flies are just crazy. But I wanted to record my intro without the ridiculous net on. You get it. Okay, so let me flip you around. I'll show you what we've got going on today. I'm super excited. Here we go. Okay, before I show you the plants, I wanted to show you the situation that I'm planting in. The front part of our house is facing west. So behind the house, the sun rises behind the house. That's east. South is on my right, and the sun comes around and then sets behind me. Now the issue with that is that this pot gets more sun than this one. This one, like right now they're in the shade. What time is it? It's 9:30 in the morning. And as the sun comes around the side of the house, this pot gets sun. This one gets a little bit, but further on from, late afternoon until the sun sets. So what I've done, and you know what, let's pop over there. So what I've done to combat that, like the first year we were in this house, I had some full sun annuals, which they did okay, but they didn't do amazing. They bloomed, but not what a typical summer annual would bloom like. So what I've done, and I'm going to be a little bit strategic this year because, all right, so let me get them out of their little containers. This is a coleus. I'm doing coleus as my main thriller plant. Now this one is Main Street Riverwalk. It works well in part shade, and it does okay in the sun. So I'm not too worried about that one in the sun. So my plan is I'm going to put this in the back like that, and then I'm going to surround it with these guys. And these guys, hold on, let me get my tags. These are Sun Patience, compact, deep red. They do well in sun to part shade. And what I'll be doing with these, look how gorgeous this is. And I'm not usually a red, but because let me turn around, I'll show you what my color scheme is. This is a Japanese maple that's burgundy. And then everything else right now is evergreen. So we have euonymus, we have 2 hinoki cypress, a little barberry that's also burgundy, and then 2 golden globe cypress. Cedar? I think it's cypress or cedar. I don't remember. Anyway, so my color scheme is pretty neutral, but because of the burgundy of these 2 shrubs, like the shrub and the maple, I don't want to put anything that's going to clash with that burgundy. And I have plans to plant up some annuals in the front here, and same thing in front of between those little globes and the grass line. And I'll get to that in a second. But for the strategic placement of these, I'm planning on putting 3 of these in each pot. Let me just do that real quick and I'll show you what the vision is. Grab another one. I'm probably going to do this. And then for the little spillers, I have a lobelia, which in my old house, I could never grow lobelia. I could never use it because we were in full sun and they would crisp up. But here, I'm hoping that it won't be too bad. And because this side gets full sun in the afternoon, I'm going to put it on this side just to protect it a little bit. And then I've got a Dichondra Silver Falls, which, look how small it is now, but if you know, you know, this thing is going to get huge. So, and I'm planning on putting this on this side and, maybe moving them around. So that's the vision. But on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing with the coleus. Go grab it. Do that with the coleus. I'm going to stick that in the back. That's going to be the height in the back. These guys, this I'm going to place them the same. These are going to be like this, like this, like this. Same thing here. And then I'm gonna do like a mirror image. Hold on, I'm trying to get it out of the container here. I'm gonna put this one on this side so it gets at least a little bit of sun. Not that it needs it. And then my dichondra, I'm gonna put it on the other side. Let me just read the stats on the dichondra. Give me a second. And the lobelia. Sorry, I know you're. Bear with me, guys. All right. So the lobelia, yes. Sun to part shade, medium water, and it's a trailer, as you can see. It's already doing its thing. And then the dichondra is full sun, but full sun, and it's going to be a beast and trail all over my driveway, which I don't want. So in a way, the shaded area is probably going to work better for it in this position. It still will get a little bit of sun in the afternoon. This one will get more. So my expectation is that this container will likely get a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust, but it's not going to be like I would notice it, but the average person just walking by probably wouldn't. So that is the plan for today. I'm going to get my gloves on, and the bugs actually aren't so bad right now in the shade, so I might leave my net off. It's crazy, you guys, but the show must go on. The bugs will not win. All right, I'm going to set the camera up and take you along in my planting up of these containers. And I'm going to leave them out for today just to harden them off. I mean, I bought these at a garden center. They were in a greenhouse, so they're not really accustomed to wind and sun and whatnot. So probably by right after lunch, before the sun comes around on this side, I'm going to pop them back into my garage for the night. And I'll do that for about a week. Looking at the forecast, nights are getting consistently above 10 next Monday, which is the 25th of May. So I'm probably going to baby them a little bit until then, but I will take them out and let them get acclimated to the weather. So let me set you up and we'll get planting. Oh, it feels so good. All right, so let's make some room. Oh, I should mention, I've already topped up my pots. I had last year's soil in about half of it, and then I topped it up with some new soil this year. So they are ready to go. Oh wow, look at that. Wild. Annuals are typically so much more vigorous than perennials. I mean, both of them are vigorous, but annuals, I feel, just do it much quicker. I want to get a little bit more out of there. They grow super quick. I'm sorry, I'm just admiring how pretty this is. And the leaves are so nice. I had tried some impatiens in my pots last year. I had like a burgundy type coleus, burgundy and green. And I had white non-stop begonias with like a peach colored impatiens. And they did so-so, but I'm hoping, I only had like 2. I'm hoping with my strategic placement, we'll see. We'll see if I'll put the flowers in the front. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'll need extra soil. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. And then I'm going to put this in the middle, right in the third one, right in front of the coleus. Get the tags off. This a little bit. Make sure I'm kind of centered enough. Oh, boo. Pop this guy in. I've never been one to buy those ready-made planters. I mean, you certainly could, but I find that there's always something in there that either I don't like or I have a preference for something else. So I kind of like building my own. Okay, we're doing the lobelia on the sunny side? No, on the shaded side. Just to protect it a little bit. I'm still skeptical about lobelia in the sun, but that's just from past experience. But I've heard that different varieties. I'm just loosening up the roots here. Different varieties are much tougher than they used to be. But we'll see. And I'm going to plant it a little bit on an angle, just so that it does the little drapey thing. It would probably do it regardless, you guys, but I'm going to help it along. Okay. All right. Drape away. And then lastly, I'm going to put the little dichondra on the other side. And the impatiens should fill in. The coleus is going to mound up. Impatiens should mound up as well. And then we'll have some little trailing action in the front. All right, and we're going to angle this one somewhat to the front as well. All right. Oh, there's new growth on these already. That's awesome. Okay. I think we're done. This is pot number 1. Hold on a second. I wonder if I should, no, you know what? I'm not going to fiddle with it. I'm going to leave it like that and trust that it will fill in. Right now, I mean, it actually looks pretty good considering they're young plants. Let me show you this side. So I realize that it looks like there's a gap here, but fear not. This will fill in, the coleus will fill in. In a few weeks, this is going to look like a mountain of color. It's going to be awesome. And worst case, like you can, once this starts to trail and to beef up, you can pinch it and it'll get bushier. And I would imagine the same would hold for the lobelia. So pretty. I'm glad. I hope it doesn't crisp up, but we'll see. All right, let's get the second one done. Bring you over here. And we'll do the same thing. And I'm just adjusting the camera so it doesn't tip over. All right, and I'm hoping that by placing things strategically, that it's actually gonna work in our favor, but we will see. And I'm just bringing my empty containers and trays here. All right, so same thing, basically mirror image of the other one. Let's give us some room. Start with the coleus in the middle, in the back. And last year I had the burgundy coleus. I had 2 white non-stop white begonias. I had 2 impatiens. There were peach, really beautiful. And the coleus just took over the whole pot. You could still see like a little bit of the begonias. The impatiens were buried. So I'm hoping that if I do 1 coleus and 3 impatiens, that might be a little bit better, but we'll see. And I kind of like the green. I've never done a green coleus before, so I'm kind of curious about that. I find it really pretty. And apparently this one doesn't bloom, but we'll see. I mean, you barely notice the blooms on a coleus. Let's see, which side is the best? But I typically pick them off. Bees do love them though, so if you have dogs or a bee allergy, don't put a blooming coleus next to next to anywhere that you sit for a long time, or your dog goes there or visits that area very often, because there is a risk of stings. All right. I'm still admiring these flowers. I find them so pretty. I say that I don't usually get red, but I find myself gravitating towards it just because it's so dramatic. I just love the drama of it, of the red. I find it so pretty. Okay. And all of these are pretty much the same in terms of watering requirements. Now, there's one that needed less water. Let me check the tags. I don't remember which one it is. And that one's medium. I think it's the lobelia. No. Medium. Impatiens is medium. Oh no, they're all medium. So that's good. So that's another thing to pay attention to, that if you're putting a container together yourself, that the plants have the same light requirements and water requirements. Because if you put something that doesn't like dampness, that prefers dry, and you're putting it in with something that needs like constant moisture, one of them is not going to do well. Because one will be happy and one won't have their optimal growing conditions. Okay. And then to satisfy my full sun itch, I bought some other plants for my back deck, which is full sun from like morning till late afternoon. Let me just double check how far deep I put that on the other pot. Give me a second. Okay. I want them to kind of look the same. Mind you, once they grow, we're not even going to notice it. Okay. Last impatiens. All right, and then now this lobelia I'm putting on this side, and then the dichondra on that side. So and I'll tilt it just a little bit. Although, like, I'm looking at it and it's already pretty drapey, so I probably don't even need to tilt it. But because I did it in the other one, I will do the same thing on this side. And I like the white. They also have they have other colors, right? They have like that beautiful true blue color. But I wanted the white just because it goes so bright against the red. And that chartreuse, I think it's going to look really good. It's funny, every year I think this is going to be my favorite. My favorite combination. Whoops, I just made a mess. Sorry, you guys. We'll be fine. All right. All right, and we're going to put it like this. I'm going to let it drape. And then our little dichondra going to go on this side. This one's going to be interesting because dichondra typically requires full sun, but full sun and it trails like a beast. It's kind of like a same thing as a creeping Jenny. If you've ever grown that, I vowed I had some in the landscape as a ground cover. Oh my God, I was pulling that stuff out forever. Like it was getting in the grass, it was getting everywhere, and like you can rip it out by the handful, and you don't even have to be loud. The flies are really bad right now. I don't know if you can see them. Anyway, and you can rip that stuff out. You don't even have to be delicate, and it just keeps growing back. It's just horrid. Mind you, in a container, if you keep it contained, like if you keep it trimmed, it'd probably do fine as a beautiful trailer. Okay, let's see. So that's done. Losing a few petals along the way, but that's okay. They will survive. Made a mess, you guys. Okay, I'm going to pull the camera back and we're going to see how we're doing. Get this out of the way. All right, let's see. Don't mind me cleaning up my mess. All right, let's see. So here is one. Colors are amazing. And then this is the first one we did. I think they look really good. Let me come back. Let me go back down here. Get a view of both of them. And I'm probably going to leave them there. I used to put them on the gravel, like on either side, over here and over there. But I feel like I prefer them on the step there. Another problem that we used to have was it's very windy here, and anything tall would tip over on occasion. So by keeping them like level and kind of hidden up against the steps, I'm hoping that the wind won't be too much of a problem. Well, that felt good. I think I'm gonna like these. It felt good to be planting again. And again, like the nights, they has to be above 10, similar to, tomato plants and such. They're summer annuals. So at night, I'll just move these 2 pots into my garage and then bring them out in the morning. And I'll just harden them off like you normally would, like any other plant, just to get them accustomed to, sun and wind and outdoor conditions, because they've been pretty babied in the garden center, in the nursery, in the greenhouse. I'm excited, you guys. Next up is the annuals and I can't plant them today for those same reasons, right? I'm going to be planting, let me show you. I'm going to be planting my other annuals in this bed. I've got some petunias and some verbena. There's going to be 2 little rows here of that, which I think is going to look really good against the color of the pots. And then behind me, in the second one, here, let me go on the grass side so you don't see my shadow. And then the second one is going to be similar combination. So I'm going to have some petunias here and some verbena, and I'm going to weed that there. Oh, and that there, and there. God, I thought I weeded this. I guess not. Well, either that or they're growing really quickly. So I think that's going to look really good. Like all those similar colors. It's going to be pretty. And then once the maple leaf's out, which it's about to, it's full of buds. I don't know if you can see that. It's full of buds. Pretty sunny. And that's going to be burgundy with all this color scheme. I think it's going to look pretty sharp. Our clover filled in, which is awesome. There was a bunny here a second ago. He probably heard me and took off. Anyway, if you are excited to plant like me, and you've been waiting for the temperatures to cooperate, if it's containers and you have the ability to like pick them up and put them somewhere safe for the night and then take them back out again, I encourage you to do that. It feels good, I'll tell you that. But here we are. Happy to be planting again. Happy gardening, everybody.